Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another exciting edition of Pretty Boy Doug Masters Kayfabe Corner. If you have any questions for my guest, myself, and my co-host, please call 954-246-0398. That's 954-246-0398. My co-host every week, of course, sensational Sean Bryant is in the house. How you doing, brother, this week?
I'm good.
Hey, man, we got it. I know the weather's all kicking. You know what here in the States and everything. But this week we got an exciting guest that is a pleasure every time to be on my show. And it's an honor. More than it's a pleasure and an honor. Miss Jenny Clark Williams, aka Lady Blossem. Ma'am, how are you doing today?
I'm doing really good, thank you, and I'm really grateful to you having me back again, and it's a pleasure to talk to you guys.
No, it's an honor, ma'am, having you back on the show. I know your schedule's real busy. Yeah, I mean, and your time. I mean, you're set on time right now, and we'll just kind of cut to the chase and everything. I know when you first started out in our great business, what year was it? Who brought you in the business? Got you kind of interested in doing what you do? And the floor is all yours.
I was 19, and I didn't actually intend to get in the business, but I met Chris Adams, and I was his girlfriend. And in 1978, gosh, that's ages ago, is it? Bloody hell, that's almost 50 years ago. Just realising how long ago that was. Yeah, so Chris and I were boyfriend and girlfriend.
Whoa.
And we travelled the UK, the old world of sport. They used to do rounds, wrestling in rounds. And I didn't really do anything but be his second, which was my little job, was to get into the ring between the rounds, like in boxing, they have rounds, and I would rub him down with the towel and give him water to drink. And funnily enough, that tiny little spot, for some crazy reason, the press just went nuts over it, like the tabloids, because I don't think there'd ever been a female do that. And for some reason, it just got all this publicity, and I was really perplexed as to why people loved it. But, we were on some magazine covers, and we were in the national press, and it would be like, who's Chris's little blonde valet? And actually, I was running his fan club before that, and Chris was always popular with the girls, good-looking guy. And so they tried to keep it a secret. I was his girlfriend, but that got out. So, but it was 1978. Can you believe that? So I'm 60 now. So yeah. So that like 39 years ago.
Yes, man.
That was a long time ago.
Long time ago, yeah. Back when you first did that, you started out with Chris, and God rest his soul, Chris was a great mentor to me, and gave me my good break in the business when I first started out and everything. Once you ventured from Chris, where did you venture from? I know you went with Steve and become the Lady Boss and everything. How was the adaptance from going from being Chris's girlfriend to marrying to Steve and having your two beautiful daughters and all that stuff? And being on the road as far as them pushing you as Lady Blossem?
Gosh, there's a huge time gap between all of that, because I didn't actually meet Steve till I was 30, and I just said I met Chris when I was 19. So we've got this massive time gap. But so Chris and I were together 4 or 5 years, and we obviously came to the States together. Now, I loved Chris because he was a really sweet person, except when he was drinking. I'll just ponder on this because I just was thinking this off my head here. But you see, even in the UK, if I go back to the really sweet Chris, I mean, we moved in together after like 2 dates because he took me to his hometown, like Warwick Castle, where and Stratford upon Avon. He took me to William Shakespeare's house, and he was just so nice. But even back then, when I did notice a few times when he had a drink that he could be quite violent, because one night I can recall that he came home and he had a baseball bat in his hand and he had blood splattered all over his shirt, and he'd been drinking really heavily and got in a fight. And another time I was with him in a Chinese food restaurant, and a guy sort of accidentally, if you like, hit him on the shoulder, and he didn't take to that, and he headbutted the guy. So it was a Jekyll and Hyde Chris. Now, I didn't leave him because I was madly in love with him, but we came to the States, lived in Los Angeles, and I didn't see a lot of his drinking back then. But then we ended up in Portland, and Chris was a bit of a ladies' man, and I don't blame him. He was a young, good-looking guy, and I suppose it can happen to anyone. Like rock stars, it happens to them. But Chris and I actually split in 82, so I was about 22 years old, and we split, and then I had the Billy Jack years, well, not years, 1 year, and then I went back to England, and then it had to be another long time, because I moved to Florida, and that's when Chris called me about the possibility of an angle that was going to be with Gino Hernandez, and that would have been in 84. He asked me to do that angle. This is what was unique about Chris and I, is that we actually were better friends, because even though romantically it didn't work out between Chris and I, we didn't actually part ways, because we had a bit of a connection, because we knew each other, because we were so young. And then obviously I came to Dallas, and I live next door to Gino, but that angle still took another 3 years, because that started in, I'm going to say, 89, 90, and that's when I met Steve working at the Sportatorium, because he was Chris's student, and they had the student teacher angle for about a year. I think Steve came in about a year at World Class at the Sportatorium, and then Chris come up with the angle again, because he'd come up with it with Gino, and then Gino died, and then he said he'd like to bring me in as his ex-wife, and then from there, Steve and I started to date, and then obviously I went with Steve to WCW, and then we got married in 93, lived in Atlanta for about 4 or 5 years, and then we got divorced, and that's obviously a story that everyone knows. And yes, I have 2 beautiful daughters, and I have one with Chris. I have 3 daughters.
Yes, you do. Yeah, that's awesome, though. You went this way. It kind of all come panned out and everything. Sean, you still there?
Yeah, I'm here.
I know you want to talk to Jim about a few things. Go ahead.
No, I'm just, you know me, I'm just listening, man. I'm just, it's nice to chat with her and hear some of these stories, and some of them I've heard, some of her book, and time.
Well, the last time Sean and I met Doug was at the Cauliflower Alley Club. Have you ever been there?
Yeah.
Have you ever been there? Yeah. That's quite a fun thing. I really enjoyed that.
every year try to go. Yeah, you talk about in your book about you and Gino. You talk about Dark Side of the Ring. That was on Viceland. You know, the documentary about the business of.
Right.
Can you kind of explain how Gino kind of, you know, it's hard to talk about. You know, I mean, certainly somebody passed.
I know we did have quite a long
thing.
discussion about Gino, did we, on the last podcast? But yes, I moved next door to Gino. I didn't know Gino as a wrestler. And so, you know, everybody who ever knew Gino from the wrestling industry was like a really outspoken, charismatic, really popular, you know, quite loud, quite brash. But I met Gino as a next door neighbour. So, funny enough, when I moved into Lovers Lane condos as Gino's neighbour, I would see him, and he was just the guy next door. So I didn't know, never seen him wrestle, nothing like that. And I was surprised, you know, because the way I first met him was he would say to me, oh, you know, if you want to follow me over to the car wash, I'll show you where the car wash is. Or, hey, don't go shopping there. This place is a better place to buy your pies or your food, the pies I used to love. And so I knew Gino just as he just was sort of a really cool, welcoming neighbour who helped me to fit into the community. Because I didn't actually see Gino wrestle until the big match at the Cotton Bowl with the Kevin and Kerry Von Erich, with the hair match. That was the first time I'd ever seen him wrestle or party. So prior to that, I'd only just seen him, and he'd talk about, you know, like I say, you know, if you need any help knowing where different places are around town. So I always thought he was a really good neighbour. But then the night after the hair match, he was on drugs that night and having a lot of fun. He was actually using acid, and I just remember we all decided to go to a nightclub, and he drove me there really fast in the car, and he was very happy, very, you know, in a party mood, and that's the first time I really saw Gino like that. And then Gino asked me if I wanted to go to this club with him called the Rio Room, which was a really, it was exclusive. Like, you had to be a member. So most people in there were like really rich, or I don't know. But I'd never been there. But I went there with him, and just after that, he was using cocaine, and he got a bit paranoid and was at his apartment, and he pulled out a cereal bowl. I call it a cereal bowl, a smallish bowl that I would call a cereal bowl. I know Gary Hart's called it a sugar bowl. I don't know if there's a difference between British and American, but I thought I would kind of call it a cereal bowl. And that was full to the top with cocaine, and he got very paranoid, and he was sort of he put the taps on the sink, and he put the plug into the sink, and all the water was falling on the kitchen floor, and he kind of grabbed me around the waist, and because I tried to pull the plug out, and he stopped me doing that, and he was holding me really tight around the waist, and I kind of maneuvered a little bit over my shoulder, and he had a gun. I wasn't frightened of him or anything like that, but he thought someone was outside, and he had a lot of paranoia that night, and kept looking out the window and stuff like that. And that was 1 week before he actually died. After that, I had seen him the next day, and he goes, "Oh, do you think I'm a moron now?" And I said, "No, I hope you're feeling better." And how are you feeling? And he said he was fine. And Gino actually looked fine. He you wouldn't know it was the same guy from 24 hours before. And after that, obviously just the following week he did OD. I believe he OD'd. I don't think it was murdered. I don't know if he OD'd or murdered, but I think he OD'd. And obviously that was just an incredibly sad thing because he was so talented, good-looking guy, really young. Obviously it was really devastating news. Do you remember it on the TV yourself?
Yeah, it was. Yeah, you just stated. Yeah, he was. He gave him a good. World Class gave him a good push. It was a good angle they did with him and Chris, as far as the hair match,
the dynamic duo. Yeah.
Yeah,
and
all that.
What's funny? It's funny because Chris went to England after the blinding angle. Because to be honest, his wife Tony hadn't met his parents, so that was the reason why they were really going to the UK, so she could meet them. But when he was there, the police got in touch with him about Gino's murder because they thought he had motive to kill him. So obviously, Chris was the number one suspect.
Yeah, that just goes how good the angle was pushed, and how they worked it and everything. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, I mean, yeah,
definitely.
Blinding him, back in the day, it was good heat. That was good. That was great. And, not as far as somebody accusing of murder, but still.
Yeah.
But kayfabe,
yeah.
exactly.
I mean,
yes, ma'am.
They quickly dropped the murder, but the police actually did question Chris on his murder. That's true. It's called Scotland Yard here in the UK. They actually did question him on it.
And believe me, me and Chris went along. Me and Chris went along hard. We kayfabed a lot and stuff. Hey, as far as on the road with the boys and everything, I always talk about I'm great friends and still is today with Michael Hayes and the guys, Gordy and Roberts, Freebirds and everything. I'm sure you spent time on the road with them guys. How did they treat you? Did they respect you? I'm sure they did. Or did you really spend any time with them?
I didn't, because I think, I don't know, Sean might know the timeline, or you might, but when I came in with Steve, that was when Jerry Jarrett had taken over. And it was the USWA.
USWA, yes.
The Freebirds was under Fritz, wasn't he, with the Von Erichs. So I was like a little bit later than the Freebirds. So I think they had left the Sportatorium when I started. So I never, ever got to go with them.
I got you. I understand that. Sean, you there still, brother? You got any questions for Miss Jenny?
Yeah, I'm here. Talk about your book and what made you decide to write your book, and any other plans on writing more or anything like that?
I might add a couple of chapters to my book because it's quite old now, 2016, and you never know, I might do that. The book came about because I was in rehab, and we get a lot of counselling in rehab. I was there 6 months, and during the day, from say 9 till 5, you would always have to write down how you're feeling and what happened and how addiction happened and what happened to you. So basically, for 6 months of doing that, I wrote from, this is what my childhood was like. This is in my class, long before a book was ever, I talked about my years with Chris and your feelings and all these notebooks, probably, well, a whole bunch of them. When I came out of rehab, I had like a stack of notebooks, and I was like sometimes thinking, oh my God, I've written down everything my whole life. And then I spoke to a guy called Neil Cameron, who's one of my co-authors, and I said, all my notes could make a book. And he said, well, you know what, let's make a book. And I thought it was quite a therapeutic thing because some of the stuff I went through, it's nice to head and on paper, if you know what I mean. It's therapeutic. And from there, Bradley Craig, Sean knows Brad, he came and him and Neil Cameron actually designed and wrote the book from just my notes and interviews with me. And so it came about my rehab notes. And you have to be really honest. When you're in addiction, you have to be really honest, because I tell you what, addicts, they're very secretive about what they use it, because you do have a lot of shame and guilt when you use and use. So my book was extremely honest, because that's the best way forward. Because if you're going to talk about something like addiction can kill people. How many people do you know just in this industry? I mean, I'm just going to count a few: China, Miss Elizabeth, Brian Tillman, Rick Rude. The list goes on. And drugs kill. So the thing is if you're really honest about how horrific addiction is and what you can get psychosis, like Gino did, it's not pretty always, but I hoped it would paint a picture of why you should get help and you can't actually quit on your own, if you know what I mean, because you do. It's like if you had diabetes, you'd need insulin. If you had cancer, you might have chemotherapy. Well, if you're an addict, you're ill and you need help. So I wanted to point out that it's a very dangerous illness, and I didn't want to sugarcoat or make it any less. I didn't want to say, oh, you know what, I'm in rehab. So easy. I got off. I did it really well. I did it on my own. I wanted to say, look, it makes you crazy. It makes you selfish.
Yes.
It makes you...
Yes, it does.
Yeah. So I wanted to point that out. Yeah. Have you ever had experience with it?
Yeah,
yes, ma'am.
I'm a recovering addict myself.
Right.
So yeah.
And you know that someone could turn around, because the stigma in some respects, it shouldn't be. And someone could say, oh, get yourself together and stop taking it. And how difficult that would be without some kind of intervention. Because number one, you could do what I did in London. Do you remember in my book, there's a story, I actually flew from San Antonio to London. And I said, right, I am sick and tired of being an addict. And I checked into the Churchill Hotel in London. And I was there for a week. And I thought, right, it's okay. I'm going to order room service. I'm going to detox all by myself. So I got there and I had Ambien and Vicodin, Xanax, that kind of stuff. And I threw it all down the toilet, just like that, all of it. And then about 6 hours later, I was like, oh, geez, what have I done? Because all my senses went crazy. Like, you hear things, you hallucinate, you feel hot, you feel cold, and you're not you're actually in a worse place, because you could have seizures, and I did, and I actually had to call my brother, and he had to call an ambulance. So I don't recommend any addict take massive amount of pills or whatever drug of choices and just think you can stop, because it just doesn't work that way. You have to do it slowly, and then I think it's important that you have counselling, because you have to go back to why you became an addict. Now, for me, I had postnatal depression, I was very lonely and isolated, and I dealt with those feelings of just real sadness and loneliness by using something like to go to sleep or whatever, and you have to kind of rewire your brain to how to cope with the feelings. So I think that counselling can come in handy for that. And I'm a counsellor myself now. I've got a diploma in it, so I know what it's like to be an addict, and I know how people feel, and I can relate to them, and I don't judge them. And yes, I mean, people have wild and wacky things happen as an addict. Well, obviously, because your brain isn't working properly because of the drugs. So, I always have compassion for addicts and empathy for them, and I don't look at them any less ill than someone with diabetes or whatever, because they need help too.
So, can you give us an insight of the good of what it was like being married to somebody like Steve, and how the good things and stuff that came out of that, and how maybe you guys are today?
Well, the good thing that come out of it is beautiful daughters. But yeah, I mean, Steve and I were very compatible. I mean, we got along great, and we went from the USWA to Memphis to Atlanta. We built a beautiful house together, which was really nice because I haven't actually had a settled life from my childhood. And then even with Chris, it was territory to territory, that LA to Mexico to Portland, and you don't really have and so with Steve, I felt we bought a beautiful home, and we enjoyed it. We played darts, we used to go four-wheeling, and it's because when Steve was with WCW, he had a lot more time on his hands. Also, the tapings were in Atlanta, so you tend to be home a lot more, and we spent a lot of time together, and we had a great relationship. But then he got fired by Eric Bischoff, and then obviously he went with Paul Heyman, and then with Vince. And after a while, he wanted to move back to Texas. I love Texas. I don't like anyone saying I don't, because I actually lived there 7 years, because when I lived next to Gino before the Angle, and then I worked as a makeup artist, and I ran Genius Novelty Telegrams. I was very, very happy in Dallas. And I'd love to come back and be there. And I'd love to have seen the Sportatorium, but it's not there, sadly. But when we moved to a small town, I didn't. Steve was really busy now because he was stone cold, and he wanted to relax, so he picked up hunting, and he had some friends who I didn't get along with, unfortunately, lived a couple doors down. But I don't talk to Steve just now at all. The last maybe 2 or 3 years, I haven't had any conversation with Steve at all. But like I said, I have 2 beautiful daughters that are a complete blessing. So obviously that was the best thing to come out of it, because I think Steve's happy now. I'm happy for him that he's happy. He's been married now to the same girl, or maybe 10 years, I'm not sure, 10, maybe more. And I'm glad that he's happy. I would prefer he had more interaction with his daughters. Unfortunately, he doesn't that much, but, I guess he's kind of moved on. But obviously I would feel a bit more compassion for my daughters not having a fantastically good relationship with their father.
Yeah, that's got to be hard on them too, knowing that they have this dad that, is super famous and everybody in the world knows him, and yet the people in the outside world seem to know him more than they do.
Correct. Yeah.
Did he talk to them? Did he talk to them very much, or does he interact with the girls?
Okay, so Cassidy was there a couple of years ago in Los Angeles, and her and Stephanie didn't go to his house for dinner, and he met her for dinner. That would have been 2 years ago. Then she came back to the UK, and no, she hasn't spoken to him since. 2 years, she hasn't spoken to him. Steph's had 2 or 3 meetings with him over the 6 years. She's been in LA, so she lives close by him. Well, I mean, he lives in Marina Del Rey, she lives in West Hollywood. But does she see him? No, not really. No. Here and there, basically, they don't really know him, if I'm going to be totally honest. I am very honest, maybe to my own detriment, but no, they don't actually know him that well, to be honest.
That's got to be rough.
Yeah, it's going to be rough.
Well, that's really sad, but I'm going to say this. I'm not actually saying anything that Stephen Self doesn't say, because he's come out and said if it has been a regret of his, that there's a bit of a strained relationship between him and his girls. Obviously, I came back to England, but that was because the problems that were caused with Steve and Deborah, with me and the girls, that's another story. But unfortunately, going back to that he doesn't actually have a relationship with them now. And that is sad for them, because they're beautiful girls. I mean, Cass is a taxidermist, Steph's a stylist, yet they really don't go, they've never been to his ranch. They don't really, they have the odd text from him, or the odd conversation. Steph a bit more, because she lives there, but I think she'd have probably seen him 4 or 5 times in 6 years. Whether you think that's very little, or that, I probably do for a father-child relationship.
No, that's terrible.
Well, yeah, it is.
Because yeah. I mean, Bret Hart is divorced, right? And his kids are always with him. Every time he's in the UK doing signings, his blade is with him. I mean, just because you get a divorce, you don't divorce your kids, do you?
No, hey, I know, I understand what you're saying, Jeannie. I got 200 in my belt, man. You don't divorce your kids. You don't divorce your kids. You can't replace your kids, but
I don't know why, though. I don't know why. I don't know why.
Go ahead.
I really don't know why.
Well, I would say we put it in God's hands. I do anyway. So,
right.
See what happens, and roll with it, I don't know anybody out there.
I can tell you this much, though.
What's that?
I can tell you that they're very hurt by it. They're very hurt. I think they're learning to accept it now. And they don't live in what you call false hope anymore. And I think they just take it as it is. But I'm sure it's been very damaging and painful for them. But like I said,
I'm sure. But now, like you said,
I'm not even saying anything, because he comes out himself and says he doesn't have a relationship with his children. So I'm not saying anything that he himself hasn't said.
Right. At least he knows that, like he said, it's been estranged, and maybe for him, he just doesn't maybe the guilt overwhelms him that he doesn't know how to reach out to make amends to that. Some people are that way. They just don't know how to make up for past transgressions, so they just avoid that at all costs or as much as possible.
Maybe so. I don't know. Like I say, I'm like baffled by it, but I have to accept it, because one thing I did learn in rehab is you are powerless over people and their feelings. The only people you have power over is yourself. So whatever he feels or thinks, I can't do anything to change his mind. I can only change how I deal with it, you know?
Exactly.
So you're powerless over people. And you know, if for instance my daughter Jade doesn't want to talk to me, I can't force it. I just have to accept that's what, you know, I'm powerless over what she wants to do, and I'm powerless over what Steve wants to do. So I can't really do anything about it. I can text him and say, oh, you know, Stephanie and Cassie really would love a relationship with you, but I can't make him have one.
Right.
Well,
so tell us about any upcoming appearances or anything you're doing. I hear you're coming to New York.
I am. I'm in New York and I'm doing a fan fest there. I'm really looking forward to it. And I'll be back in Vegas in April. So I'll see you then.
You're going to come out to get CSC, huh?
I am, yeah. I am. And I was talking to Brian a couple of years ago about Chris getting an award. What do you call it? A I forget. I've just got a name for it. Yes. One of them. And if that's the case, I'd like to be there, obviously. And I'd like to be there anyway, because I love it there. And everybody's so friendly. Brian and Cole and Ron Hutchinson, and everybody that's involved with it, Brian Blair. They're just such gentlemen. I just think they're just kind, and it's always, you know, chilled out, and I just think it's a lot of fun.
Yes, it is. You know, it's so awesome that you're still out there doing. You know what, Jenny? You are so over as far as the ladies that's been in the business out there still promoting herself, and people you got your phone's probably ringing off the hook for people that's wanting to talk to you. Or the podcast, like you said, the conventions, and it's awesome what you're doing for the business still. You're still out there plugging it, and where you're plugging what you did with your demons, just like everybody else is doing, myself. As I speak right now, I'm still plugging my way on that. And, but yeah, I know you told me you had 45 minutes today because you're taking your kids out today?
Friend's birthday. Well, me and Cassidy's with me, and we have a birthday dinner at 8:15, so we're just gonna have that. But I'm happy to come on your show anytime, because I just love you guys, and I'm grateful that you like to have me on as well. You let me talk about my feelings.
Awesome. Absolutely, anytime. We always like having you.
Thank you.
Hopefully we'll see you in April.
Yeah, I'm definitely going to be there. And Stephanie and Cassidy are coming with me as well.
Oh, that'll be awesome.
That'd be awesome. Yeah. If anybody get a hold of you, website, Twitter, Facebook, everything, plug yourself.
Well, I mean, some people do ask me for a signed copy of my book, which I'm happy to send. If they send me a message on Facebook, I can send them a copy. Or a promo if they'd like. I'm on Twitter at Clark Jeannie and Facebook at Jeannie Clark or Jeannie Williams. Or if they want to order my book at Kindle, it's on Kindle on Amazon.
That's awesome. I know you pressure your time today, ma'am.
Who's coming to help you in New York?
Huh?
Are the girls coming to going to New York with you to help you?
I don't know yet. I think Steph's got to work. Casty may be able to.
Well, let me know if I can find a way. I'd love to go to New York and spend the weekend and help you at a table. That'd be awesome.
Yeah, it'd be fantastic.
Only costs an arm and my right leg and my left leg to get there, but
I know.
All right, Miss Jeannie. Hey, was important, and I'm Doug. I'm in Oklahoma, so we can kind of meet in the middle, I guess.
Yeah, I'd love to go back to Texas. I'd love to. My grandson.
There you go, right? Hey, I'm gonna say this right now. I got a good friend of yours right now listening to this show. And a great friend of mine. I love her to death, Naomi Meek, and Kat down there in Dallas. Naomi Meek there in Granbury. They're listening to the show right now.
Naomi. Oh my God, I know her.
You love Naomi? Yeah, man. Naomi's a great friend of mine. I talk to Naomi every day. Say hello to her. I will text you her number if you don't have it.
I have talked to her.
Okay, she's shy to talk on air. Naomi, Naomi's there.
She's a lovely lady.
Yeah, the kids are doing good.
Of back in the day. Yeah, Brandy and Candy.
Brandy, and Candy. Yeah, they're all doing great. As we listen, they're listening to us right now.
Out there, Naomi. Love ya.
Yeah, they're listening to us right now. I swear to God they are. I talk to her every day. Yeah, she's a great friend of mine. Yeah, and Kat down there in Arlington, and yeah, I just want to say a shout out to them since they're too shy to get on there, and a shout out to you. You know what I'm saying?
Cool.
So, awesome. But yeah, I know you pressed the time, Jeannie. Is there anything else you would like to say out there, and to anybody in this world where you have to get off to your birthday party?
No, I'm just so grateful to have you guys to chat to here and there, and I'm happy that you invited me back on the show, and hopefully I'll see you in person. And thank you again. I'm really grateful.
Yes, ma'am. Well, thank you so much on my part.
I'll see you in April.
See you then, Sean. Love to Lynn. Okay.
All right, I will. All right, Jeannie. Bye. God bless you. Thank you.
Bye.
Thank you.
God bless.
Bye-bye. Thank you. Hey, says Sean, my co-host. Hey, man, that's awesome, brother. I mean, she's a class act, man. It's an honor to have our show. You know, I mean,
yeah, just good people.
We'll
have fun in April.
Yes, we will.
So, worst case scenario, you got to figure out how to get to Vegas in April.
Worst case scenario, I figure out how to get
We'll have a gay old time in April.
So what's going on, man? I run down the lineup. We got Sunny Beach. We got the lineup next month. So we're going to wind down this month anyway.
Yeah, so next month we have starting next week, we have next Friday we have Sunny, the California girl, on next Friday at our regular time. And Friday the 13th, we have Ballistic Brent Myers. He's an independent wrestler that has caught fire the last couple of years. He has been working some angles with WWE, with Ronda Rousey, the last 6 months of her run. Those of you who know, he was one of the head referees that she was always knocking out with her bionic forearm. And so he's going to come on and talk about his career. And his dad was promoter with Eddie Farhat in Chicago for a while in the mid-'80s, and he's going to talk about that and his career, and then September 20th we have the sensational, crazy Rock Riddle, a gentleman I've gotten to know a few years.
Vegas, right? Yeah, Rock Riddle.
Yeah, I believe he's in Vegas area. And at the end of the month, we have Roxy Astor, who played herself, Roxy Astor, in Glow Girls, one of the original OGs, and she'll be on the 27th.
Great lineup. Awesome. Any thoughts on the AEW pay-per-view coming up?
Well, it's going to be interesting to see if CM Punk returns. Does he jump in on the card? Does he come to AEW? Or is he just making an appearance and saying hi to the fans? He cut a promo the other day. It was kind of funny in the ring. He fell off the top rope and, nope, this ain't comfortable. Ow, that hurts. Took a bump and told Conrad Thompson that's $20,000 for that bump I just took. He's really, really friendly. Seemed to be a real nice guy. He's relaxed now and out of that WWE storm that he was in, and I think he might just be ready to make another run. He says you never know what could happen. So who knows? It'll be interesting to see. And I know Jim Valley, our good friend Jim Valley's on the plane there. On his way to Chicago.
Yeah, he tweeted me earlier. On the way to Chicago, WrestleFest, I believe it is.
Starcade
WrestleFest, yeah. Starcade. He's on his way. He tweeted me earlier and headed that way. And then what a great man, and he knows everything about the business inside and out. And he, trust me, I was on one of his shows, and he'll drag you down. He'll ask you questions from the time you started till the day you want to die. Believe me, I know. So he's awesome, man. It's awesome.
Wrestling connoisseur.
It's awesome, man. It's awesome. So, hey, what's going on in your world?
Nothing now. Just getting ready to relax. Got some errands to run, and got a couple concerts coming up this week, and get out and enjoy the last bit of summer.
There you go. All right. Until next week, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for tuning in. Awesome guest, Miss Jenny Clark Williams, a.k.a. Lady Blossem. With my co-host, Sensational Sean Bryant. I'm the pretty boy, Doug Masters. Remember, be good. If not, be good at it. And no one is as good as a pretty boy.